friends, day 27, we're nearing the end. So we've talked about racism and all its ills. However, even though I told you when we talk about race, we only talk about race, right? Today, this conversation is the trifecta. The trifecta. You really cannot look at race without also looking at gender and also class. These are the conversations I have in my work. We never want to talk about class in America because in the British system, you had a title. It's clearly delineated. Where I come from, we have a very clear class structure, but we also have rules in place so that being in a quote unquote lower class is not a dehumanizing experience where we all have obligations to each other in the same community. Of course, my own community is changing because of Western influence, okay? So don't forget that part. Now, the reason we talk about class, though, has to do with the fact that capitalism in this country is what sets up class. So the uber wealthy, upper class, middle class, lower class. And we really cannot talk about race without talking about poverty and how we put people in different classes so that they serve the upper classes. And it's hard to wrap your brain around how capitalism supports this, but slavery was built on capitalism. You're giving me labor. I've paid for you once. If I barely give you food and a bare roof over your head, and I can rape you whenever I want, or I can separate your families whenever I want, then you are not, then you have to make me as much money as possible, right? I have seen ledgers, actual, the accounting ledgers blue book at Emory University archives in their library on the 8th floor, where the people that sold Emory the first set of land that Emory University was on in Oxford, they sold enslaved people to build the university. I love Emory. I went to Emory for my Masters of Divinity. I love everything about Emory. But this is part of their history that they're in the process of owning. And so this enslaved owners, like you see an entry, male slave, $40. Horse, $80. Some ridiculous number like that. And people were sold and bought for other people to be wealthy. And today, how we transact our time for dollars is part of that capitalistic thing. I'm a capitalist. I like money. I like making money. However, there's hyper-capitalism that says everything we must look at through the lens of money. Money becomes every single measurement. How are you measuring things in your life based on money? How often do you react to the wealthiest person in the room based on money? I want you to really ask yourself some of these questions. And where are there gender disparities in your life? Where do you see gender, race, and social class interlocking in your world? Are you trying to move from lower middle class to upper middle class? Why? What is your rationale? I'm not saying don't do it. What is your rationale? Racism teaches you that you have to get up that ladder so that you're far away from those at the bottom of the ladder. And it's not a healthy way to live. Have compassion on yourself and look into it. Bye.